This year's Farming Simulator mod competition produced some interesting entrants. The most interesting one is the most one present in this video right here. The trees, well the trees certainly do over there because they are pine. But if you look at the bushes, that tree up there, it all sort of looks a bit wintry, doesn't it? It doesn't look summery, as you would expect from Farming Simulator, and that's because there's a new mod in town. It's called Seasons, and, well, frankly, it adds in seasons to Farming Simulator. You know, they really did think of a name before they released that mod, I have to say. It's certainly not like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, where you've got no idea what you're going into. Oh, no, you know exactly what you're getting with the Seasons mod, and I like that a lot. I also like the mod a lot. In fact, I think it's the best mod to have been released for Farming Simulator in a very long time. It adds in seasons, and it does so in a very, very interesting way. I will go ahead first of all and press the wrong button, but it didn't do anything horribly wrong. We will engage our GPS here. We'll lower down the plough as we are ploughing. It's spring, as you can see in the top. If I do, not that one there, that did light. If we do that one there, we open up our weather forecast. We can see that today it's 5 degrees, cloudy at the moment, and the soil has a temperature of 4 degrees centigrade. We're leaving in line, but whatever. Yeah, it's currently 4 degrees on the ground. That's the soil temperature, so we can plant stuff. And what we can plant is this here. We can plant wheat, barley, canola, corn, potatoes, sugar beet, oilseed, radish, poplar, and grass. They're all plantable now. They can only be harvested when it's the, not green, the yellow period. That's when you can harvest all of that over here. So wheat can be harvested late summer, autumn, barley same, canola same, and soybeans can be harvested pretty much the same. What? I don't know, that was just a sound anyway, I was just confused there. Yeah, you get the gist over here. We've got some settings, season introductions, key cell menu, temperature scale, obviously that's on Celsius because that's what we have. Season length, they can range from, well let's see over here, from 3 days to 24 days. That's how long a season can be. You can change it in between that. It's very straightforward, very simple. It's not really that difficult to work out. It's just get stuck in really. It has some quite profound effects on the gameplay though. You have to plan ahead a lot more, especially if you intend on keeping animals now, as you can't just plant whatever you want and harvest whenever you want, pretty much. It's not just every other day you can plant and harvest. You now have a long period over here. It has a good flow to it. The workflow is thought out this time round. It's not just, yeah, go and do whatever. They've actually put some thought into how it works. And it plays out beautifully. Obviously, if you have animals, you need to have grass because you need hay. You need to have straw. You need to have silage. If your animals aren't fed, they don't just have zero production as it does in the original game. They die. So eventually, if you don't feed your animals, they will die. So you need to plan ahead. You need to have everything prepared out. And also economically, I'll try that again. Economically, there we go, I can do words, mate, even the fancy ones that you usually need in the education to say. Yeah, the economical system is also affected. You can only harvest once every, 9 times 4 is 36, no, 38, I don't know, I can't do maths in my head, but certainly you can only harvest once for a cycle once every year cycle out here. It does affect it tremendously. You need to plan ahead and you can't just buy loads of equipment willy-nilly and buy fields and that. You need to sustain yourself for pretty much the whole period. Obviously you can do jobs for the other farmers, you can do your forestry if you like to do that, but if you want to just be a bloody good farmer, you are pretty much on a challenge here because, well, what you're going to do? You're going to get your income, but, it obviously it's not, they haven't added in the effect of the economy out here. Like, you don't have a good strong harvest where you get more yield. You don't have that in real life. It fluctuates in real life for farmers. Some years the weather is good, the climate is good to them, so they get a good yield over here. But obviously if one farmer gets a good yield, every other farmer is likely to get a good yield as well. It's not... it's not just one farm they get a decent yield, it's pretty much everyone, so prices should, pretty much stay the same. But you don't get that, so you sort of just get none of that, but you do get the once a year income from it if you are unlucky. Sometimes you get a couple of different great demands and that, but overall, you don't have the same rapid expenses and income, which really just changes the way you have to play it. It's nice, it's more thought out. It overall feels like a lot of an improvement over the original Farming Simulator 17 game. It certainly is the biggest advance, and it did also win the mod competition, and it was fully deserved. So, we'll get back to Seasons mods a bit later on. Let's try and move on from that. I'm driving a John Deere 6170R, and this is a mighty fine mod indeed. Exterior mod, fantastic. Interior mod, fantastic. Loads of good stuff. 10 out of 10. Quality mod, best mod at the moment, best model mod at the very least. Nothing's really going to top Seasons mod, I think, for quite a long time, unless they come up with something else equally brilliant. We got the GPS mod involved, we got drive control, which is why you see some of the interesting stuff down there. We have realistic fuel consumption. I've cocked it up. Let me sort it out. The arrow, you see the one that's flipping back and forth there, that's drive control. The 0.0% is drive control. And some other bits that you might see a bit later on will also be drive control. The fuel tank, the one that's currently saying 30 litres and the little red inner circle, that denotes our fuel use as per the realistic fuel use mod. It does as it says on the tin. I quite like mods that do that. Straight up, realistic fuel consumption, boom, gives you realistic fuel consumption. I like that, thank you for doing that. Same with GPS mod, bang on. Drive control, bang on. Seasons, bang on. No messing about, straight up, bang in there. Really lovely stuff over there. I'm also using the New Holland pack, which only adds in tractors, but they add in a lot of tractors with a lot of different options and engine configurations and that. It's really good. Good quality models over there based on I think the 2015 or Farming Simulator 15 mod of the same name that did exactly the same, would you believe? You get a lot of different models out there. I have two. I have the T7 from 2011 and the T5, I think also from 2011. They were back over there somewhere. One's currently working with a worker. How is it doing? Well, we can pop over and see if he's actually doing properly. There he is. Oh yeah, look at this worker. He's doing proper good work. He's working functionally for once. It's so nice to see these workers do properly. This is my other tractor, my fourth tractor. It's a JCB Fast Track, but it's not as good as the John Deere 6R series. Really, this is a nice mod. It's got LED lighting and everything. It's brilliant. Bang on. 10 out of 10, as I said. Wholly recommend it. Really worth checking out. Good quality mod. We are at the moment ploughing, as you probably already figured out. It's required from the base game, and why not do it? Even though I think real farmers are moving away from ploughing, at the very least for the moment. I think financially, and it's just not viable anymore to do it. Whoops, that's not the right button. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button, so I minimized the game. But I'm just an idiot. You're not surprised about that, I assume. Where was I? Yes, I was talking about something. I completely lost my train of thought because it all went wrong. And I will try and get back on track. Yeah, we're ploughing. Yes, I was talking about ploughing. Apparently real farmers don't do that anymore. Or they're trying to cut back in some places because it's an expense. Obviously, fuel-wise, we're burning 40 litres, around 30 to 40 litres of fuel an hour ploughing. And if you do that in real life, you're burning, every day you could be burning hundreds of litres actually. If you think about it, you could be burning thousands of litres a day. If you've got, I don't know if you've got 4 tractors out ploughing for 8 hours every day for a week, that's, hang on, we can do the math here, can't we? If we base it off of this, we say, I'll try and do this, I just need to start off my phone. So I'm desperately stalling, and that's in a sub menu calculator. So if we say we've got 4 tractors, right? They are working for 8 hours and 5 times in that. No, hang on, I'm doing this wrong. I need to do the maths in a completely different order because I need to work it out for each tractor and then I need to multiply it by 4. Maths is very weird and very difficult and I'm not good at doing it in my head. It's just very confusing, you know. All of these numbers you got to remember. Helper J has completed their task, have they? Let's have a look. Or you parked in a hedge. I mean, you haven't done a brilliant job. You've done a decent job. I wouldn't hire you again, but it's sort of okay. Let's try and see if we can't get it to wrap it up here. I mean, I'll have to colour in the rest of it, but it's a massive help. This helper has done pretty much the whole field over here, field number 8, by themselves, without me having to really help them out, apart from once or twice, which is absolutely wonderful. Cuts down my work, and that is always nice. They're helping, as per their name, which is wonderful. So back to the numbers. My phone's locked itself again. Let's try do numbers then. Clear what I was doing. So say we have 8 tractors are running 8 by 5. Oh, no, clear. I need you to clear, mate. Have you cleared? So we've got 8, multiply that by 30, multiply that by 5. That's 1,200 litres for one tractor for a week. So if we have, say, 4 tractors doing that, that's 4,800 litres a week. Did I do that right? I don't know, I'll try to do it again, just to be sure. Yes, I did it right. We also came to the end of this row, so we'll carry on here. That was obviously by 30 litres an hour. I'm guessing it's a bit more. It's around 36, so obviously that was a conservative estimate over here. That's obviously a lot of diesel you need to pay for if you are a farmer, and lots of man hours as well. I mean, that's 40 hours, pardon me, that's 40 hours per person. And they need to be paid, of course, and there's minimal wages and all that. There needs to be sorted out. You need to pay vacation money and a lot of other things you need to pay for. So really, it just escalates. I get why real farmers don't do this, because, you know, you probably have to pay a lot of taxes on diesel these days. I know they get discounted fuel thanks to the EU. I think that's the EU. So, good job, Britain. Apart from that, yeah, it really just doesn't make any sense, does it, when you can just get a harrower out or a cultivator. And that's the next area, really, where the game could look at expanding its simulation fidelity, which is really what I would want to see if we talk a bit about Farming Simulator and what I would like to see in the future. Obviously, I would like to see Seasons Mod fully integrated in. I would like to see realistic fuel consumption, of course, also, and drive control and all of that stuff. But if you try and focus on seasons, and in that regard of actually deepening the simulation aspect of Farming Simulator, also including some updates to the economy would be nice at that point. Like, I'm guessing prices would vary depending on how good it was. It would also be nice to see, as I talked about, good harvests and bad harvests. That happens. I don't know if it would work in a game, but it's quite a dominant factor in real life farming. I mean, the weather, the climate affects how good of a yield you get each year. Obviously, everyone else is affected equally by it in the same area, certainly, so you're not going to get that big of a price fluctuation, I would imagine, because you know supply and demand. If everyone has a bad harvest, you'll get more for what you have, because the merchants need the same amount as they would if you had a good harvest. So equally, if you have a good harvest, they don't need as much from you, so they'll give you a lower price. That's just how that works. That's pretty much economy explained 101 for everyone. So yeah, that doesn't really matter, but it would be nice to see it in the games. Like if you had a really good harvest, if the weather condition actually affected your crops. Like some crops will like have a bit of a rest. I think if I don't know if it's wind or if it's rain or if it's wind and rain or it's like winter or something. But some crops will like lie down, and you know, it's just not good for the farmer because that's a bit of a pain apparently to harvest or something. I don't know. It would just be kind of interesting to see that stuff being added in to just deepen the simulation. It would also be very nice to see these monitors to have an actual effect. Like, it would be nice to see some GPS integrated into the game that could be operated by these monitors over here, and for these gauges over here to actually do... Whoops, yeah, okay, can't press base, got to remember that. Drive, thank you. It would be nice if all of these things actually did something and had a function. It would be nice if the mirrors were proper, like proper FOV, and you know, you could adjust them and that depending on what you wanted. Just those little details would be nice. Not vital, they would just be really nice, and they would add a lot of immersion, and I really would like to see it. And again, economy wise, that would be nice. It would also be nice to see like cultivators and harrowers and that. There are different types of cultivators and harrowers. If we look in here in the cultivator section over here, we have something like this here, which really goes in and it grabs in and it takes a lot of the lower level. It goes in here and it like tears up this bit of the soil, and that's very good. Whereas something like, say, do we have one somewhere? I don't know. Yeah, something like this one, for example, here. Just got these discs. It's just designed to loosen the top sword, I think, to... I don't know. Just some farming stuff. Farming, fuck yeah, right? I don't know what it is, but, you know, it does something, and it's good. But it doesn't do what the deep down grabby thingies do. So that would be nice to see a difference in that. In regards to this save file, I've literally just started it. In fact, I started it a wee while ago. I did an hour and a half of this. Recorded a completely black screen, which was delightful to find out afterwards. Oh, how I was happy when I found out about that. So yes, this is Coldborough Park Farm, or Park Map. Obviously with seasons and all the other mods that I talked about. It's a very nice mod. I played this a lot in Farming Simulator 15. And it hasn't really lost any of its magic yet, but then again, I'm about hour 2 or 3 in this save file, so I can't really give a full statement on that yet. But it's very well done. It's obviously quite clearly a labour of love from the bloke who made it. Apparently he grew up on the farm itself when he was a kid and decided to make it in Farming Simulator. It came out originally in... It may have been even Farming Simulator 2013 that the first version came out. Or maybe it was in some Farming Simulator 15 that it first came out. But that doesn't matter anyway. It's been here for a wee while. I think it was also entered into the mod competition. It's a very well made one, made based upon a real farm. It's obviously, if you go on Google Street View, you will notice a few different things in the area. But it's based on the real thing. The fields are roughly correct and that. And it's a really good quality map. It's just really nice, really good. I recommend it. There were, in the 15 version at the very least, you had to muck out your animal living areas rather than just have all of the manure appear in their little, you know, the manure storage area thing, which is my very technical description of that bit over there, the manure pit. You had to scrape that out manually, which was very nice. I would like to see that kind of stuff added in again. Of course, it's like with the... I think we're in the wrong lane here. I'll just get it sorted out. It is as with... what's the original one called in this? No, not... the original map certainly, it's the same over here in terms of the animal facilities. We have them stowed in different locations. If I get control of the mouse, which... do I have mouse? No, if I hold down shift... No, control, there's control. So this is my pointy mouse device. Over here's your dairy cows and your sheep. They're over there. They're doing their own little thing, which is lovely. And up here we have the chickens. You've got your pigs, and I think that may be it up there. Yeah, that would be it up there. We would also have cattle up there in Farming Simulator 15, which would then be sold to the what's it called? The abattoir. That's the word, abattoir. Very difficult word to say. But that, of course, is now fully integrated in over here, so all of these animals are all the original ones in the game. No additions there, as far as I can work out. Yeah, and it works out pretty well in this. It's not that far apart. This one is the most tricky one. It's right down a small little outside, tiny little road, country lane road. The other one's next to quite a large road. There's quite a steep hill though, so you need to be careful not to take something very heavy behind a little low-powered tractor, otherwise you would struggle to get out from there. We can pop over there and have a look a bit later on, but for now we'll just try and continue ploughing. We had another worker finish work, so we'll try and look into this right here. Yep. Oh, you've done a banging job here, haven't you? So if we... How are you on? I mean, you've left a bit of a gap here. But I'm willing to, you know, say that's alright. I wouldn't hire you again, but it's an okay job you've done. We will bring you then over to field number 9. Can we go over there? I'll come in and colour in the rest. Once I have finished with the field over here. It's quite a massive field though, but it's okay. Can we just sneak this past? Let's go into first person view so it looks a bit more... Oh, tree! Let's watch out here. Oh yeah, season mod. They changed trees based on the season, like all the foliage just change. So now it's early spring, so it's obviously there's no like green bits on the trees and that. So it looks like it's proper winter, which is really cool to see. We need to try and get this sorted though. What I can do is start off down at the bottom, yes indeed. Let's start off down here by the roadway, they'll sort it out. Oh, we got lots of good drive down the hill. Blimey, look at these. Power down rocket remoters engaged. I forgot where I was in the words, but that's okay. Stop. Reverse. And there we go. Ready. Drop it down. They'll continue working. Carry on. Why are you wearing a hat? Or that? Apparently, yeah, okay. Apparently you've just taken a shower or something. I don't know. You don't look like an old lady, but okay. We'll carry on ploughing. Good old ploughing. Who doesn't like a bit of ploughing in the nearly noon? It's actually later on in the day. It's actually 3:30 for me. But that doesn't matter at all. It's actually just an hour away from the start of the Spa 24 hours. Which will be lovely to see. Don't know. Varies. Not a big fan of SRO anyway. Let's not get too bogged into that. We got a... What do we have on this dashboard? Whoa, hello. Strike IR, please. Here we... Oi. Not bad. Here we got the engine hours. We've got our speed. And on the other one, we've just got some decoration. It would be nice if the GPS was shown down there with the routes you were taking on the fields and that. That would be nice. It might also sort of... If they did that, if they could do a system like that, they could integrate it in with the helper and that. Because basically you'd just be sending an AI person to drive a system that was already in it. Hopefully we'll see that though. I know they've been talking about deformation of the terrain. Deformation of the terrain. Let's try terrain deformation in proper English. Because I can do words, me. For a while I've seen some talks early on a couple of forums about it coming in. Or they've been working on it for a long time. But they haven't been pleased about it. So if that comes in, imagine if all of what I talked about earlier came in. All of this integrating in seasons, improving on the economy and all of that, and adding in terrain deformation, and blimey, we are in for one hell of a stonker, aren't we? That'll be a really good farming simulator. And this looks cool though with the twin wheels out the back. It looks like a big old American tractor, and we like big old American tractors. As long as they're not too big to be, you know, useful in these tight little fields that we have. Although we have some quite large ones. Field number 9 is huge. I don't know why you would start off with a field that huge. It just takes a long time to sort of work it through. Which is why I have the AI working on it. It may take a couple of days. The season mod also opens up for the possibility of managing... Oh, we're spinning tyres. Look at this. They are spinning wildly out of control. Well, we can engage our diff locks and we can... No, we can engage diff lock and four-wheel drive. So we are now locking our diffs and we're pulling up the hill nice and gentle. Look at this. Drive control in action. But yes, Seasons mod also allows you to have a lot more fields, a larger area to work. Obviously you have a lot longer to do it now. The whole workflow has been changed drastically. So you can now actually spend time working on more fields, which is really nice. And that's the kind of thing that I've been talking about when I've been talking about whether or not seasons could be added potentially. Is the ability to have like more ground to cover, quite literally ground to cover. And it does seem to be the right statement I made, which I'm quite chuffed about. Certainly you can manage a lot more acres, you know, acreage and other farm words. Especially in multiplayer, I would imagine this would be quite interesting. Grass, of course, also grows a bit more. That doesn't grow in the winter, but it grows in spring, summer and autumn. But they recommend that you only make hay in the summer. Obviously because it's a lot warmer and so the grass will dry a bit easier than if you did it in spring, where it isn't as warm and it rains a bit more. There are localization files for seasons. Haven't seen one for the UK. I've seen one for Wales. But technically, I mean, we're near Hereford, aren't we? And that's fairly close to Wales. I mean, that's fairly close to Brecon Beacons, where the SAS do stuff as well. So I suppose you could just have used that one. But certainly, yeah, just add in just a lot of that kind of really nice stuff. And if you leave the bales out, if you just leave straw swaths out and about, they will rot if they get wet. So you have to, again, plan ahead. And of course you can't harvest wet crop and all of that. It's just, overall, it's a very nice thing. It just changes the gameplay so brilliantly. And it's just quite interesting to play as well, because, you know, you've got to think a bit more. Or not necessarily think, but plan ahead and decide what you want to grow here. on the save file I played before this was Windsbach, which was released in the mod competition. A very good German map, but I just felt like something a bit different. And they released an update to Seasons mod not long ago, so I thought, why not start a new save file now? And indeed, we are on here Kolbra. It's a fairly tiny map. It's not as big as some of the other maps that are out there, but it's very highly detailed, good quality. It's really all you can want. As I say, it's a labour of love. The bloke grew up here. He's wanted to recreate something that's he's probably very passionate about, and it's brilliant. It really shows. And that's what's great about this kind of PC gaming, this sort of niche PC gaming, is you end up with these games or content for games that are so clearly a labour of love. Like the person who made it quite clearly bloody love the thing they made, and they made it because they love it. It's not only like EA or Take-Two who just does it because it'll give them money. The bastards. Take-Two, by the way, I think is worse than EA. I've said it, but that's my opinion. I think Take-Two now is worse than EA for the simple reason that they only care about money. But clearly anything they see as a threat to their business model, they will shut down with legal action, as we have seen, or threats of legal action rather, and intimidation, which we... was it Multi-Theft Auto, or was it VMP or something? It's only the developers from San Andreas multiplayer that was ceased and desisted, or given a DMCA or whatever, in the similar vein that OpenIV was. Only they also, the developers of the multiplayer mod, had private investigators sent after them by Take-Two. The bastards. Not a fan of Take-Two, they're worse than EA in my opinion. And certainly I will think twice about buying one of their games again, even though they publish pretty much everything these days. If you look at what Take-Two publishes, 2K they own, Rockstar of course. Oh shit, what was the other ones? Yeah, well yeah, Take-Two certainly owned by them, and if you look at what Take-Two have, they have a lot of stuff. They've got, is it Bioshock? They've got, I've completely forgotten them all now, of course. They've got Mafia. They have other games, like sports games. I've seen some sports games released by 2K. What? No, Watch Dogs has Ubisoft in it. Doesn't matter anyway, yeah. Just don't buy them. If it's anything by Take-Two, don't think twice, because the bastards, the people that own them. Anyway, let's not get too bogged down in that kind of business. We are farming. We're supposed to be happy people. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Obviously, I've got a lot of dosh going on right now. I've got nearly £200,000. But as I said, you don't really get that much income, and you do have expenses every day. The vehicles need to be maintained. The equipment needs to be maintained. You've got a loan when you start off. That needs to be paid off, nice and gentle. But other than that, you don't have any income regularly unless you get animals which you can sell. Like they produce milk and that, the cows. Well, as I was saying, the cows produce milk. The sheep produce wool, which you can sell as they produce it. But you also got to keep them fed. So there's a lot more, I suppose, gameplay now with the seasons in. Because you've got to plan it all out. Like, it's not just, yeah, do whatever, which is what it was before, and this is actually quite competent, which really goes in the vein of Farming Simulator 17 overall. Like, I've seen some people who usually play these games and make fun of them in videos, who go, yeah, I tried to do that with 17, but I couldn't, because it's actually quite good now. Like, it's actually quite a decent farming simulator, and, you know, there's no haha wacky dumb things in it anymore. They've actually made something quite competent, which is true. And I think that's a lot of praise, really. But we'll just sort out the sat-nav, though. Lower down. Off we go. Hi-ho, Silver. The green workhorse. Do they have a horse? Or is it probably a deer in it? But they don't have a... Hang on, don't they have a logo? I thought John Deere had a logo. Don't they have, like, that prancing deer? Well, they don't put it on the... Oh, they put it on the front. It's just obscured by the bright LED lights. Yeah, it is a thingy. It's also there. Is there anywhere else that we can see? The roof? No. Oh, we got a window, that's why. Anything down here? No. Nothing really, is there? No. Loads of levers, though. I like levers. Not even on the bloody computers. No. Well, I thought you'd put that a bit more. But seemingly not. Anyway, let's crack on. Not even on the ground. We really ought to do that. That's like branding 101. How is our helper getting along? Let's pop down and see how our helper's doing. Okay, yeah, okay, that's actually quite decent, that. I'll let her work on out here. She's doing a bang-up job. We'll carry on. Oh yeah, and if you look at the headlights on this thing, if I turn them on, they're sort of like yellowy, they're like incandescent bulbs. Oh, we've just turned off the AI worker. Oh well. We just need to turn this around for her. Around we go. Oh, and there's also snow in the winter, by the way, which you can plough. If you have a plough or one of those shield thingies, which you can use for it. Let's pop that on. Let's pop on the diff lock for you, so you have it a bit easier. We'll jump back into the deer. Those are big tyres, by the way. Look at these. It looks cool. Like it a lot. Quality mod, that. Somebody's put a tree in the field. What a dickhead. Anyway, we'll wrap this around. Bring it into position. Oh yeah, here we go. Line it up, rack him up, carry on. It's noon, everyone, on the first day of early spring, and we still have 6 degrees, 4 degrees in the soil. Tomorrow will rain. Probably not the best day to plough. Just a thought. So we may want to try and see how much we can do today. We may even want to try and maybe perhaps buy a third plough, so that our other tractor... Let's have a look here, actually. Let's go into ploughs. What can we buy? We can buy the Kuhn Varimaster 153 or the Canyon. Or we can buy this one here. Ooh, that's very small, though. This is 2 meters. That's 3 meters. Yeah, let's try and grab another Canyon Aero. And we'll get that to reset because we have the... let's go in here and see what we have. We have, no, that's the one we have. Let's go in. We can click, we can zoom in, of course. We have this function now. I keep forgetting about it. Reset this, yes, please. That is then reset over here. Or we can pick it up by the JCB, which usually means something a bit different, but whatevs. Hook it up to the back. Oh yeah, bro, look at this. We're waving the plough in the air. Waving the plough in the air. Let's see if we can open this gate with the controller. The answer is no. That does get a bit buggy at times. So open the gate, jump in here, drive out. We have the beacon going. Come on, pull, you bastard. Are we clear? Oh dear, we're in the UK, aren't we? Let's look. Right, well, let's pull back a bit. Sorry. I forgot we were in the UK. Apparently we've still got American road traffic going on, which is a bit odd, but... We'll nip this over here, park it a bit in the bush. Hopefully there won't be your care. Close the gate. See it. Oi, 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 knobhead! Leave me room! Don't you see me yellow flashing light on the roof? It's meant to warn you. So this is the dairy stroke, the other one, the sheep, that's a word. Why do I keep forgetting the word sheep today? Anyway, there's where the cows go, over there. It's a very lovely little map. They go in there, they got lots of area outside. We have a little equipment barn or bale barn, whatever you want to keep in there. That's where the sheep go, they can graze up the hill. We've got a baler, we can store some, I guess, straw over there, or sell straw. And that's where the manure goes. Oh, they've changed that, haven't they? No, that's probably where silage goes, because it's so big. And then manure goes around the back. Well, this looks a bit new, maybe it just didn't go here before. Or maybe they can't do it that way now. I don't think they can, which is a huge shame. You had to manually move the manure out of the little area, the animal area in there, and drop it in here. Don't know if that's still a thing, but there's only one way of finding out when I eventually get there, that is. So there's been a few changes here. Still got a house there, probably somebody lives in there. Yeah, I've just come down here, well thankfully it's noon. I've just destroyed your wall, mate. Sorry. Didn't mean to. We'll send this bloke on to field number 2. Are we clear? It will carry on. Well, there's a little lay-by here. Is this an access to a field, or is this just a lay-by that we can use? That could be very useful for us, couldn't it? Is this the field that we need to go into? No, that's field number 1. Oh, I'm in the UK. Right, that means we go on this side of the road. Very easy to forget. Are we knocking down signs as we go along? No, we're not. We're fine. I think this is where we go, though. That's not dangerous at all. It's just poking out a bit. Open the gate. Oh, it's swinging this way. Coming out. Sorry. I'm not coming out, by the way. That's not what I meant to say. That's not the way I meant it, is what I'm trying to say. I meant it in the sort of, I'm opening a gate, so I have to reverse a bit. We'll try and bring it over here. We'll try and do it this way. They're not brilliant, but they're okay at the job. You need to do just the final touches afterwards, but it's better than what it was. I have had... Oh dear. Righto. Let's engage four-wheel drive and diff lock on all capacities there. So he's now working. Lovely stuff. We're now ready to carry on working. Engage the GPS. Apparently this is what real farmers do. They've got the GPS, they just sit there and then presumably they turn it out at the end. Like, you've got to stop, you've got to lift up the rear bit and put it down again. Seems pretty simple really to be a farmer. I mean, you could watch TV, you could have like YouTube running on one of those monitors, like that one up there probably. Be a bit annoying to look at that all day, but that right there, you could like watch streams on that, right? You could read a book. I don't know what farmers do, but probably you could do all of that. You could do more. You could be like an accountant whilst you farm. Imagine that. What do? It's Accountant Farmer Joe. Oh, yes it is. I'll just lower down the plough while I do your financial forecast or something. Like those accountants do. Oh, yes they do. And they bloody love those things. Let's try and lower the working width a bit, so we don't have as much overlap. Also, we have more overlap. That's the thing. We want to have more overlap so it looks a bit proper. I could perhaps also turn the working path a bit around over here so we now don't leave as much wrong. Let's bring these up here. Maybe this will have fixed part of the problem at least. It just looked a bit wrong. It'll look weird when we look at the cloud section because it doesn't look proper. We can't see it on this map, of course. Don't know why I brought that up, but I did. We are working some pretty extreme angles right now. Look at this. We're going pretty much sideways up a hill. This is probably why we struggle a bit. You sort of have to think about what implement you use in these situations. You can get the big plows, but they're trailed and they got like a joint on them, so they can turn a bit easier. That will sort of just slide down the hill, so you can't use that big equipment on these fields. So yeah, you just got to think a bit when you do these kind of bits. Let's try and raise the plough up a bit, turn it around, and move over into the other lane here. I know there's a bit of an overlap now because I've corrected the calls, but it'll work out in the end. So much other than those, we can go to harvesters. I have a couple of interesting ones. Apparently, they're not shown here. Okay, fine. Well, they're shown in forage harvesters. I have 3 forage mods. I've got a John Deere. I don't know the quality of it. Can't comment on it. I've got the Big X 1100. I've got a Class Jaguar. And I also have the Big X 580. Apparently that was in the game originally. That's nice. So yeah, definitely want to go for something like this. Or this, which is even smaller. That's like really nice. I like that. I kind of like those smaller ones. None of the head tippers. We've got quite a few. I got the hook lift. We've got these here. That's not really what I want to show. What I really want to show off, though, is a seeder that I found. I haven't seen it yet. Don't know how good it is, but it's the Kuhn Ventra LC 402, which you need to buy. Not only that, but you need to buy on a thing. That's in cultivators, like this thing here you need to buy on and hook it up. I think that's like something that's a bit realistic, but I don't know. But I'm just assuming here that it is. We're still connected up with the path. Good. How are we doing with the 2 workers? Always got to monitor those. Again, management advice from me there. Always monitor your workforce. Make sure they're happy and motivated and ready to go. And they certainly seem to be. They're certainly driving about. Is worker A driving about? Yes, sir, you're doing a fine job driving the JCB. Quality ploughing by you, 10 out of 10. What about you, lady? 10 out of 10 for your ploughing as well. Quality ploughing. So this has been, well, at least part of the spring in Seasons Mod Coldborough Park Farm. It's very good. I do recommend you check it out if you play this game or if you're interested in playing this game again. Because it's very nice, very well done. Seasons work well, 10 out of 10. Fully understand why it won. Also check out this John Deere, check out the map. Just have fun, I suppose. Goodbye for now, though.